Jake Skin of the Boxed In podcast, delighted to be joined here by Joe Garside. Joe, we're here in London. I mean, how has this come about then?
Well, I went to fight in Barnes on this date anyway, and then about a month ago I just got a text offering this fight, and I pretty much imminently accepted it. And I didn't say it up there, but big thank you to Ben Shalom and Boxer for keeping his show on, because honestly, like, so many people worked so hard for this night, and for him to keep it on, I'm just really grateful.
So you speak there about having this show in Barnsley. That actually did throw me off a little bit, because I went onto BoxRec and I was like, right, I'm going to see who's on the card. And then I saw you had the fight in Barnsley, and I was like, hold on. I was like, it's not been called off, has it? I was like, Kunda's not been injured, and like Garside's now got a replacement on the Barnsley fight. But no, you're here. You're in London. Fight's going ahead.
It only got put on BoxRec. I think it only got put on BoxRec like this week. Just because my stepdad was texting me like, it's not on. I'm like, trust me, it's happening. But
yeah, in terms of, obviously, you've been around. You know, you've done fight weeks like this many times against undefeated fighters. You're going in there now against Joe Kunda, 10-0. His last outing against Bobby Dalton. Did you watch it? You know, what did you make of it? Is there anything in there that you think, yeah, I'm, confident going in this that I can really exploit some of his kind of skills? Or
yeah, I watched it, and I think I learned a lot from it, because I thought Bobby fought his fight, and I need to use my experience and get him to fight my fight. And he's the type of person who, like, is very awkward and is very effective if you let him. So I know I've got to be clever and patient in there, but I can't wait. Yeah, it'll be biggest fight of my career by far, and what an opportunity.
You speak there about like the opportunity, and obviously we know you've been on a big stage before. Obviously, headlined cards of with Will Harrison. You've then been against, obviously, Cyrus Patterson in a brilliant fight. Do you feel like you do need to win this? Do you feel like, you're getting these opportunities, but at some point they're not going to come? You do need to take an opportunity. Do you feel like this is, like you say, it's the biggest fight of your career? Are you putting a lot of pressure on yourself, or, like you say, is it that kind of experience that you've gained over those fight weeks that you're just taking it in your stride?
Well, I do need to win it, because it's either I win this and I kick on, or it's back to small hall boxing. And no disrespect to it, like, them promoters work wonders, and everyone who gets tickets, they're so like selfless, and we're so grateful. But I just want to kick on my career now and stay here. Don't really put pressure on myself. Because I just think work hard, muscle memory, relax. What'll be, will be. I've got killer instinct. But yeah, if you put yourself under too much pressure, you just can't get consumed by it, and it affects you. So yeah, just block it out.
I've had the pleasure of being in the kind of dressing room with you after the Will Harrison fights, and I know kind of that even though there were draws, It did, I guess, not get you in a way, but you felt like, you could do better. You felt like you wanted to perform on the night. How do you go in there on Saturday night into the copper box and perform at your best?
Well, it was weird, because like the first one I thought I won pretty easy and I thought I boxed really well. And the second one, I was just trained at weight, and like I thought it were quite unlucky not to get the nod, and I were absolutely terrible. So they were two totally different like feelings after, but to get the win, I just have to do Joe Garside in a way that beats Joe Kodua, and I don't want to give too much away, but I know that this fight will boil down to who wants it most. Experience and using my brain.
So you speak there about the experience. Do you believe that is the key factor that wins you this fight, that when the going does get tough, that you'll be in that mindset of, I'm going for this, I'm ready, and I'm gonna win.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like a completely different fighter now since the Cyrus fight. Just a lot more complete. A lot calmer. Like everything before, I'd have a 10 rounder and I wouldn't even think about pacing myself for like a second at fight. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'd watch the fight back and I'd do stuff and I'd be like, that was so impulsive. Whereas, just a lot more controlled now.
I know you've been with Jimmy First for a bit now. How what have you kind of learnt from him? How is it kind of that transition over been now, and do you feel like now you are kind of a lot more relaxed with Jimmy, that you can put on your best performance?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Jimmy and Martin for such a good balance, because Jimmy's just so laid back and Martin's just so meticulous, like OCD. It's just like such a great combination, and I feel like they both play to my strengths and improve my weaknesses. But you've got to take your hat off to Jimmy, because he's had conversations like this. Like he fought for he won his Central Area like 40-41, and it was like, look, you've got to do it. And then same with Corey Gibbs, it was like, right, you're on TV, but you've got to do it now. So he's like the perfect man to have in my corner, because he's been there, if not more.
So just a couple more. Obviously, you speak there about what you learned from Jimmy First. What did you learn from the Cyrus Pattinson fight? Because that was a really good fight on a big stage. The biggest stage of your career up to that point. And I imagine there's kind of quite a bit from that whole fight week experience that you can now take into fight week this week.
Yeah. Obviously, like, is an ex-Team GB podium, whatever, like, to share the ring with like some of them with them accolades, you're gonna pick stuff up, like the changes in like levels, feet. The main thing for me was like, touch wood, I don't want to jinx it, like I didn't realise how tough I was, and I just wish I committed to the shots more, because like I was just thinking too much about what were coming back, and I was just like gun shy. But yeah, like that's what I take from that fight. And like, as for the whole experience, like with it being the first TV one, you kind of get like imposter syndrome, and you're like, oh, do I belong here? Do I vote? And like, obviously because I've been there with him, I know now like I should be here. So I'm just like, sweet.
Saying finally, for like you said, the bookies are doubting you. I imagine there'll be quite a few fans putting bets on tuning in. What can they expect from Joe Garside this Saturday?
Look, Joel Kodua is a great fighter. Obviously, a Southern Area English champion, unbeaten in 10. Coming off 2 great performances, so I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, but just expect a great performance from me. And I'm just going to give it everything. And I'd like to just give a massive shout out to all my sponsors. Everyone who has come over last minute as well. Like just after Christmas, beginning of the year. I'm just so grateful. And I'd like to give my uncles Andrew and Michael a shout out, because I always forget to. And I'd like to give Matt Dawson from Dawson Estates one, because he took me down today. And I thought I was mega overwhelmed, and I thought I'm going to have to get Tram here. And do with like 2 bags, a rucksack, and my kit. And he picked me up at 6:30 in the morning, bless him. He's in his own hotel now because he's sick of me, but he's coming to weigh in. But yeah, I'm just really grateful for them people.
Joe Garside, great to have you on the channel once again, and thanks so much for your time.